ClubMX Network production.
Welcome to the Troy Lee Designs and Racetech Suspension and Engines Blair Matthes Project.
All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the Troy Lee Designs Racetech Blair Matthes Project. I'm Steve Matthes. That's Daniel Blair. Thank you for watching and listening. Appreciate it. However you get this podcast, super appreciate it. Thank you to Troy Lee Designs. Been there since 1981 when Troy was painting helmets in his mom's house and then decided to make some visors in her oven, and then it progressed from there. TroyLeeDesigns.com, mountain bike stuff. Check out the full range of products and gear up for your next ride with the confidence. TroyLeeDesigns.com. Great gear, great mountain bike parts as well, or I should say apparel. Helmets are second to none, whether it's moto or mountain bike. Check it out, man. If you want a discount to save with Troy Lee Designs, use the contact form on PulpMX. Send it to me. I'll send you a code, and then you punch that in the website, and then you buy something from Troy Lee, and then you save money. All right. Racetech's on board with us as well. Thank you to Checkers and all the guys at Racetech. They can make KX450s run really, really well. So maybe Jorge Prado will call them. I don't know. Racetech.com, privateer proven, making bikes better since 1983, I think. Racetech.com. Tell me listen to this show. Tell me listen to PulpMX. Get a discount from Racetech, Racetech.com. Man, making amateurs really, really making their bikes work really well. Racetech's been very busy lately. I checked in with Checkers and the boys, Rob and Chris, and they've been busy over there in Corona, California. So motor work, suspension work, all of it, racetech.com. We'll tell you more about Stomp Grip and Decal Works, Maxxis, Seat Concept, Zools, Firepower, ASV Levers, and Alpine Stars later on in the show. But as I said, I'm Steve Matthes. Let's talk some high point and more with the Main Event Moto lead singer, Daniel Blair. What's up, buddy?
That's not it. It's Main Event Moto is a podcast. Main Event was the band. Obviously, Steve, I don't have a super creative range in naming the things that I do, so it gets confusing. I
was going to tell you today on the mountain bike ride, got the AirPods in. Are You Happy comes in, which I like. Great song from Main Event, and followed up by Last Resort, Papa Roach. Just random on my phone. You know, I just shuffle the music. And DB, I thought you'd be happy about that.
I am happy about that. Are You Happy is our most underrated song, I think. And then Steve, I want to make the announcement to everybody. For the last 3 or 4 years, I've been teasing the idea of my brother and I coming back and doing music and releasing something. And Sunday after Hangtown, I did go in the studio. I tracked vocals, and it's officially 90% done. So we will have a new song coming out at some point. So no more teasing. It's for real. It's already been done. The tracks are laid. Just need to mix and master, and we'll have something new. And I think you'll like it. Kellen actually got a little preview before we came on, and he loved it, I think. Right, Kellen? We good? Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I've always really enjoyed listening to your music in the first place, and I think this is going to be one that people will like too.
Cool. Steve, you'll love this. You'll love this. So my brother and I are absolutely fighting about it. So
I am not surprised. Yep, I'm not surprised.
The family's breaking up again, so...
Thanks.
We got it done.
Thanks to the producer, Kellen, the fraud Brower, by the way, for jumping in. Kellen, should we dedicate this to Lewis Phillips, or do we got to wait till, he passes away? What do we do?
Wait, what's going on? For real, wait. I don't even know. What's going on with him.
He had strep throat. Then he Instagrammed that he's in a hospital, that he's cooked. And our friend Big Lou, he might not be going to High Point. He's got some issues.
I saw him at Hangtown in the heat of Saturday, and I'm like, how you doing? He's like, surprisingly good. He was super happy and in a great mood. And then next thing I see is that after Thunder Valley, he's in the hospital. And he says he's cooked. Is it strep throat? Is that what it is? Or did it lead to more?
I think it started there and it got worse.
Oh, man.
Shout out Big Lou for,
sucks.
All that he does. And we hope he hangs in there, and we can't wait to see him back at the races. But if he doesn't make it, Dark Side, don't take the HVAC job. Don't take the HVAC job, Dark.
You're a dick, dude. I saw that tweet today, and I'm like, bro, you're hitting two people at once with that one.
It's fine. It's fine.
Mean.
Okay, let's talk. And we also some controversy in the fantasy picks. We'll get to that later on. But my premonition last week came true, and so we have to do some adjusting for our fantasy picks. Stay tuned for that. DB, we are not at the point in the sport where we go, man, Jett Lawrence lost. Wow, can't believe that. He split motos or he just got beat or whatever. We're not at that point. He wins all the time. But we're at the point where we go, hold on, Jett got passed. That's where we're at. We celebrate, break it down, and analyze Jett just getting passed. Not losing, but that's where we're at with this kid right now. And AP got it done. Hunter passed him. It's incredible.
So you're right. And I jumped off my couch when it happened because it's so rare. And it was like a big old giant, like the whole house was, and then it lasted only for like a second. And we're like, that's fine. That's worth it. He wins. But you know what? My thought on this is Jett has been pretty boring, in my opinion. When he wins, he has this thing, and let me explain it. He gets into the lead, and he sits there in this weird spot where they're close enough to him to where the camera has to stay on him. So we're forced to kind of watch him just float around and do nothing because they're close enough. But he's kind of playing, and he's just sitting there with them there. And to me, it kind of takes away the ability to move around and look at other battles because they're always sitting right there. He doesn't ever check out. He doesn't put a beat down on these guys ever. He always just sits there. And so for me, I've watched a lot of Jett Lawrence over the last couple of years, the later 250 days and, of course, the perfect season. And it's just been like, great, dude, he's phenomenal to watch ride. But after a lap or two, I kind of want to see a little chaos. I want to see mistakes. I want to see a mess. And because of him and the way he does things, we don't always get to see that. But if he's going to win races, but they're going to be thrilling and people are going to pass him, or Eli's going to stay in his shadows and force him to do certain things, if he's forced to actually have to be a little more on the edgy side and play the game and work the track and have some racecraft and deal with lappers and actually have to deal with them, then I'm okay with the winning. I don't need him to lose. I just want to enjoy watching the races. And to me, I've enjoyed watching him not be so super freaky. So shout out to AP. He's on a short list of people. Shout out to Jay Coop and Hunter in that second moto, and Eli, of course, keeping him honest. Like, make it fun, make it entertaining, and I'm not as worried about the outcome. But you're right. He wins so dang much that the littlest things make us happy. And AP made me, dude, I'm stoked for AP. Just get on that short list of people who have passed him. It's very small.
Yeah, it's crazy that we celebrate these guys for simply passing, not beating them. But honestly, I think, look, he had a bad line choice there. AP got by him. And the way he got him back and the way I've watched him in Supercross at times get some guys back makes me think that there's so much more in there where he's just like, oh, wait, I got to get this guy back. And literally in a lap it happens, or less than a lap. Like, he can – that's why I think, like, I was around for Stu and Ricky and Dunge. Not so much Dunge, but Stu and Ricky wanted to just demolish everybody. Just push, demolish these dudes, put some serious seconds on them. I mean, in my opinion, Eli Tomac and Justin Cooper and Hunter Lawrence, no hate comms, are better than, let's say, Tim Ferry, pains me to say that, Mike Alessi, guys that Ricky were beating bad, guys that Stu were beating bad. You know what I mean? So to me, and I think Jett's better than the guys I just mentioned, because I just believe in evolution as far as bikes and training and riding skills. So to me, Jett's got more in the tank, and he is just absolutely maintaining what he has to do. And when he needs it, as we saw when he gets AP back, as we saw in Supercross, I can remember particularly him needing to get Kenny back one time. He's got it in there. He just hasn't uncorked it. It's in there, and he could demolish these dudes, in my opinion, no problem.
Yeah, I think it's a great debate. If you look at the different generations and what they did, and you can never really compare because, you know, even in Supercross, Jeremy's era was very unique to Jeremy, then Ricky, then James and Chad, then the Villapoto Dungy era. All these eras have their own feel. The bikes are different. The competition's different. So it's really hard to make the firm like this guy is better than the rest. But the one thing that Jett is doing right now, like you said, is his calculator in his brain when he has to use it, because he doesn't have to all the time. When he does is really impressive. And he doesn't always have the best lines. And then when someone gets him like AP does, he very quickly figures out, oh, that's why. That's what I'm doing wrong. Let me adjust my internal carburetor, and then fixes it, gets him back, and makes it like his ability to adjust and make changes in the moment, in the heat of the moment, without getting too emotional. Like, it is next level, man. And he's still young, and it's still early, and I don't know where this thing's going to go. But when he does what he did at Lakewood, it's more impressive than when he just sits in front of him, because he's like, yeah, you have more to play with. You're more talented. He's got great gifts with the way he's built on the motorcycle. But when he has to use his brain and do things like what he did in that moment, that's when I'm like, I've never seen anyone like that adjustable, that calculated when it comes to making a change. And they're in trouble. I mean, what, they're in trouble? I don't know what to say. Like, doesn't mean he's going to win every time, Steve, but dude, when he can do that, he's going to win way, way, way more. He's won 33 of 38 motos on a 450, by the way, 33 of 38. And every overall but one. Like
I'm surprised he's lost 5. I can't think of 5 off the top of my head. I know
a couple of them happened because he was hurt. The Hangtown 2.
Yeah.
Then he lost one at Lake. Those were all mostly in effect to that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the only one I can really think of him getting straight up beat was Hangtown Moto 1 this year, where he just settled in third because I don't think he looked comfortable. Outside of that, the other ones had I could make an excuse for him, but dude, the guy doesn't lose at all. It's unreal, man.
Yeah, he tipped over at Lakewood last year when Hunter won. Did he? Didn't he?
Yes.
Didn't he tip over?
That was also the week after Hangtown when he got smacked the week before. Then he lost at Southwick Moto 2, which was very soon after that too. So I still feel like those were in.
Yeah, he's still hurt. Yeah,
exactly.
He's still banged up. He's still dealing with it for sure.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I find it weird, and this could be. I had someone tell me the theory that when AP or Hunter or J Coop's behind him and they get him, it's okay. It's fine. He absolutely knows he's got those guys covered, because we have not seen Eli Tomac pass yet this year.
Not outdoors.
Not outdoors, yes. And the theory was, look, he knows ET. He knows he can't let ET get any kind of confidence or any kind of clean air. And so he knows he has to. That's Jett really trying hard. When it's AP, when it's Hunter, intensity level, let's say, is a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 or whatever number you want to put on it. It is odd that ET has given him the most pressure here through 6 motos, actually beating him at Hangtown, as with AP, and then pressuring him at Paula, pressuring him in the second moto at Lakewood, but can't seem to pass Jett Lawrence. It is just odd. I don't know if there's a reason. It's just one of those oddities, I think, but it is odd.
No, I could see that though. There's an internal hierarchy that a rider has, and I'm gonna. I can't believe I'm going to go here. I'm going to connect this to Los Banos Fairgrounds. Okay, Steve, just bear with me. I know. And all you in the comments, just settle down. I'm just trying to make a point here. But for me, when I was racing Rusty Holland or Eric McCrummon, those were the two where I had to be so perfectly flawless to get away with winning with those guys. And I knew that with them when they were on the gate, that there was no slippage. But there was other riders that were pretty dang fast too, that the mood was a little bit different. If you're behind them, you're like, okay, I'll figure this out. Or if they're right behind you, it's like, okay, I'm not too worried. You know what I mean? Like there's a different way you approach different riders based on the threat level. And again, at his level, if he's looking at Tomac and Sexton, he looks at them probably as a higher threat. When it's his brother, he knows his brother so well. And I love Hunter. I'm a Hunter guy, but at the same time, he knows he's got the edge there. Same with AP, same with J Coop. So with them, he probably just approaches their presence differently. And I guarantee you he ain't resting easy when Eli's the one sitting behind him. But if it's the other guys, I think that's why AP probably got him, because he knew it was him. That they know the pit board. They see what's right in front of them. He probably was a little bit off of his very edge, knowing that it wasn't Eli or Chase. So I think it's an internal hierarchy that he knows, and he approaches each guy based on who they are. And that's why you'll get caught slipping sometimes, but he won't probably get caught slipping on the other two, because those two, he knows who they are. So
I talked to them after the race, and they're happier with their bikes. Both the brothers are happier with their bikes. If you want to hear something pretty funny, listen to Hunter's interview I did on ClubMX, talking about when Eli is behind you and what's that like. Hunter really goes into detail, and it's really funny actually, because we know the Yamaha sounds different, and then we know Eli sounds different, and Hunter really lays into it. Like, am I missing something out there on the track? Like, what's going on? Why is he revving the shit out of this bike and he's on the outside of me? It was a really funny interview, because, everyone talks about.
Gotta be so annoying too,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
Imagine just never knowing exactly where he is, but he's there because it's like a gnat. You just hear it nonstop. It's
12,000 RPM, and Hunter's answer is really, really funny. So
is he on me or is he not on
right.
me? Like
What's happening?
Eli's loud.
Stomp Grip. They came on last week, and I absolutely want to just stomp grip Daniel sometimes for some of his opinions. StompGrit.com. PulpMX25 is the code to save with those guys. Whether you're racing Supercross, whether you're practicing motos, ripping laps at the local track, if you're an off-road guy, Stomp Grip's dirt bike 3D grip tape and frame grips give the control you need to stay locked in. Engineered for the high friction zones, Stomp Grip's 3D grip tape helps reduce arm pump, improve body positioning, and protect your plastics. This stuff's some of the best grip tape out there, and molded to your bike, and they absolutely work great. Some teams ride them, some teams use them, some riders use them. Traction in action. PulpMX25 is the code to save with them. I want to thank the folks at Maxxis Tires, too. Maxxis logo. Great mountain bike tires. Freddie's battling bronchitis. I keep talking about Freddie Noren using Maxxis, but he's sucking. So maybe it's not exactly a great endorsement of Maxxis tires, but trust me, Freddie's a legend. Freddie's a warrior. He will get over this sickness, like our friend Big Lou, and he's using Maxxis tires out there. Jack Chambers, of course, all the PRMX guys. Chambers actually rode much better this week. Got in. I think Julian at PRMX threatened him. But Maxxis.com for more information. Mountain bike tires, dirt bike tires developed by Jeremy McGrath. So thanks to Maxxis guys, and firepowerparts.com. Loading ramps, featherweight lithium batteries that ClubMX uses. They got good chains as well. Stands, all of it, firepowerparts.com. They got a cornucopia of products for your dirt bike there at firepowerparts.com. Daniel, it's clear, and it's even more clear after 6 motos, the 5 guys we got going on right now. And maybe when Sexton comes back, thoughts and prayers to him for being banged up. When Sexton comes back, he'll definitely be in the mix. But right now, it's Hunter Lawrence, Jett Lawrence, Justin Cooper, Eli Tomac, and Aaron Plessinger. Those guys are taking the top 5 spots. But, Daniel, you think maybe old Rick can get in the mix?
I mean, okay, here's what I'm going to pose. I'm going to pose a question because I'm a big Rick fan, all right? I think RJ is one of the coolest dudes, and I am loving him on the 450.
Who may not.
Yeah,
Hampshire.
Yeah, don't get it mixed up with the other one. No, RJ Hampshire is one of my favorites, and here's my question to you, and I have a concern and a hope. Concern and a hope. We're seeing him look pretty dang tame right now for the RJ that we know and love, and he seems more stable. And I'm thinking that bike is it's good. It's heavier. He probably respects it more. There's more power, so he doesn't have to push as hard and squeeze. It's doing a lot of the work for him. But then he keeps reminding us that like his wrist isn't right, and it's like, you know, he's going to get better when his wrist gets stronger. And I'm thinking, I've raced before when I've had injuries and I've had to tame things back because of an injury. And I'm wondering, Steve, is he riding correctly right now? Because the wrist, and if that thing comes back stronger, does he start riding the 450 like the 250? Like, what has actually got him tightened up right now? The wrist or the bike, a combo of both? Because I don't want to see him turn into RJ 250 on RJ 450. I like what I see. I want him to be just a better version of this, and I'm hoping that the wrist strength doesn't come back and makes him go, let me revisit some old traits. So yeah, that's my question to you.
No, it's a good question. And like, you are what you are, right? Like, Kellen could go around and try not to be a fraud and try to do the right things, but bottom line is he's a fraud and he can't get away from it. So I think Rick will ride the same when he feels 100%. And he's been getting better, by the way. This weekend he swapped moto scores with Cooper Webb and was much better. If you look back from Paula to here, he's pulling away from Malcolm, his teammate, on that bike, and Rick could maybe get into the mix. He followed, was it J. Coop in the first moto? He was ahead of J. Coop for a long time in the mix. Yeah, J. Coop got him, but to me, he's getting closer to that top 5 thing. But no, Daniel, I think when he's feeling and good, the wrist is better. He's going to go back to being Rick ways and probably overriding that thing. I mean, why wouldn't he? He is what he is, as Popeye would say.
Yeah, but I'm here's what I hope. And RJ, if you're listening, this is what I hope for you. This new trend of you on the 450, the way you ride that thing it's the best version of you. I really do. I think it's the best version of him because he still pushes. You can see the pushes there. But to me on the 250, there was a little percentage of desperate to get that last little bit out of it. And maybe it's because of the power and just because that's how you ride 250s. So again, I'm hoping that the bike is it, that it's like, this is finally all the power delivery, that weight kind of moves around. Some riders like a little bit of heavier weight, just the way it moves. And so for me, this is like a turning point where I just want him to build from here and become a better version of this. And sometimes, again, when you're injured, you have to be a little bit protective of yourself. And then the injury goes away and you start taking more chances. And I just hope that those chances are less there. And this is starting a new pattern, because I think he could be a really good 450 rider. In fact, I actually was told this week that back in his amateur days, like at Loretta's or Minios or something, he rode like a 450, maybe in the B class.
Loretta's, he was a 450.
Everybody.
Loretta's, I think he was a 450 champion. Kellen could probably jump in here, but I believe he won 450 class as a Geico kid at some point. Yeah.
And I think on one, if I was told correctly, I believe that he's got a history going back to his youth. So maybe it's a bike thing, and that's what I hope it is, because I like him a lot. And but I just get nervous when he keeps reminding us that, wait till my wrist is better. And I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah, the desire will overpower the right wrist, I think, once he feels better, because that's what RJ will do. But he's been really good, for sure. Really good. And by the way, a Race Tech rant on an aside here. I went to Paula Regional, right? We all know that story. I suck balls. But I don't understand. These kids are riding 450 class on 250s. And they all do it. And like I said, RJ used to ride the 450, and these amateurs would ride the 450 in the 450 class. And now they just all ride 250s. When I went to Loretta's last year, same thing, right? I said, who's riding 450s? And they're like, yeah, probably nobody. Why? Let's make it's a 450 class. Make them ride 450s. Stop it. Maybe, like you said, Daniel, one of these kids will be really good on a 450 with the extra weight and the extra horsepower, and he'll find a home, right? Or maybe a kid. Well, I don't understand why these kids, they all just ride 250s in the 450 classes. I'm a Race Tech rant. Thank you for coming out for my TED Talk. It's dumb.
Well, can I give you a Troy Lee Designs insight?
Yeah,
you ready
sure.
for that? Okay. Levi Kitchen, back when he finally popped in the amateurs, his final year, he rode 250B Limited and 450B Limited, and he rode a 250 and a 450, and he swept 6-0. That's what put him on the map, led to his star deal, and kind of started his whole thing. There's a kid right now named Max Shane who is riding. He rides for Troy Lee Designs. He rides for Husky. He was one of my Husqvarna kids before I left Husqvarna. I signed. He's the last kid I signed, actually. And he rides with Greg Albertson. You know Greg Albertson at Game Moto. He's riding a 250B Limited with his 250. He's riding the 450B Limited on his 350 and is winning everything on that bike and loves it and rides the wheels off of it. And he's kind of going for the same idea, which is go there and try to put the old 6-0 on everybody. But he is riding both bikes. He's riding a 350 in the 450 class because it is available. It's an option, and it's a pretty good bike.
No,
so
I'm fine with that.
There's some, but I know your point, was a lot of these kids, they just ride their 250 because that's their pathway in the pros. But then you have guys like Diesel Thomas, kid Avery Long. They would ride their 450s and whoop everybody on the 450. And to me, I got Avery Long. We could throw a shout out to him, that second moto, but that dude on a 450 is unbelievable. Like he would be very threatening on a 450 because he grew up racing one.
The class is a 450 class. Ride a damn 450. Otherwise, go find some other 250 class to win or to ride or whatever. I don't quite get it. I don't know why we do that, because I think it could possibly open up riders who are better on a 450 to get more of the spotlight instead of having the exact same kids racing 250s and 450s. It's stupid.
They're chasing 250 pro rides, and they want to show what they can do on the 250.
Yeah,
and then
beat
if
it.
you ride the 450, you're looked at like,
whatever.
You have a power advantage.
That's fine. Yeah, but ride something else then. Leave the 450. Then don't have a 450 class. Don't call it 450s and allow
make it 450 mandatory.
Yeah.
Make it 450 mandatory.
Right. And maybe, but like I said, somebody's better on a 450. Anyways, that's a side to this. But Rick, yes, riding really well. And let's hope his wrist gets better and better. And then, we'll see what happens. Now,
stay the course, RJ.
Rick won't make SMX in 250, right? Because he didn't win the title, so he doesn't get a guaranteed spot. And although so Rick's probably going to make SMX in the 450s.
He will.
Yeah,
I've already looked at the numbers. He's close already.
Right. Okay. Well, that'll be interesting to see when he does that. All right, Chance Hymas. What a day! It's the kind of day that Los Banos you dreamed about, and you probably had at Los Banos Fairground, because fastest qualifier, 2 hole shots, led every lap. Absolutely dream day for Chance Hymas. And it's always been, to me, for Hymas, like the speed has been there. We've seen him win motos before. We've seen him lead laps, right? But his progress has not been linear. It's been interrupted by injury. And every time he gets going, it's an injury. So let's hope he can keep this thing going, because I do think he's got speed to match Deeks and endurance and all of that. I do think that, but he's got to get on this roll, and maybe it starts now.
Yep. I agree, and I think he's got the best chances in the class to do that. And this is two-part for me. Number one is whoever can challenge Hayden the best this summer really does put themselves in position for next year to be kind of the guy. And I know there's not a lot of carryover from year to year. There's always a little reset before Supercross, and there's a little reset before the summer. But with these guys, when they're climbing their trajectory, when they're kind of still on their way up to where they're going to be, it matters. And if Chance is able to really be the one that challenges Hayden the most this summer and really is the thorn in his side, that gives him a little bit of a leg up next year. These guys aren't stupid when they're on the gate. They kind of know what the other ones are all about. And look, Kitchen and Shimoda, these guys, they've already been in the class for a while. So you've kind of seen enough to know, like, yeah, I think their ceiling is probably right around here. Hymas' ceiling, we haven't really seen all the way yet because it's been more flashes than actually like stability. So he's in a really unique spot right now where he can go and challenge Deegan and maybe beat him here and there. But even if he doesn't, if he goes and beats the rest of these guys, they'll be well aware of that next year. And with his age and just kind of the way he's growing right now, they're going to go into the opening round going, yeah, that's probably the guy to beat. And it's a natural hierarchy they have in their mind. So for me, Chance needs to not only go after Hayden, but put it to the other guys. Mm-hmm. Like, do what you did. Go 45 seconds on these guys when you get a shot at it, because if you do, that will stick in the future, at least outdoors, because indoors, I think he's still a project. He hasn't really put that whole thing together yet. There's other kids younger than him that are better. But outdoors, he is the highest prospect, in my opinion, and it's by a pretty far margin. But he needs
indoors,
to whoop Joe and Levi, he needs to whoop those dudes all summer to really establish himself as the guy next year.
But indoors this year came in late with the ACL. Last year,
yep,
put the knee down at the second round in Detroit and tore it, and then was struggling. So, like, yes, bottom line is you got to get it done, but at least there's some legitimate reasons why Hymas has not been that fast indoors so far. And he's got that win in the mud, of course. But time to bring in Brower here, Kellen Brower. I didn't put this in our group text. I probably should have. But, Kellen, panic button for Tom Vial or no? Should I rustle around in the drawer for it? Because, dude, he just went backwards at Thunder Valley. I know he's a two-time Supercross champion, but this has not been good for Vial. He won Southwick, I think, last year. Or was it the first year? He won a race
last year. He won a
last
moto
year
at Southwick, yeah. I don't remember what...
Did he win an overall last year? He won the
No.
overall at Southwick first year. I'm almost positive of that.
He did, yep.
Second year, I don't think he won an overall last year.
I don't think so. I don't. Maybe I'm rummaging for the panic button, but I'm not looking at him at this point as like even a title contender or at that point anymore. And I honestly, I'm already looking at it.
To be.
I know, but I'm honestly already like, well, sign the 450 deal. He's probably thinking that. Maybe that's where his head's already at. Maybe that's what he's thinking about at this point in time, and not really putting 100% effort into going after it for a 250 title anymore because he knows it's over already. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, he's there.
How long until we see one of the carrots in the ears YouTube guys look at Prado's results and Vial's results and say GP riders suck?
It's already happening, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's already happening. I've seen that.
My bad. Sorry. I don't know what's going on with Prado. It's not good, but actually we could just move on to that because that was one of the things I want to talk about. JT and I battled eternally on this, and he's a rider like you, Daniel, and I'm a mechanic. Don't tell me the bike is the problem. Is it all Jorge and nothing the bike? No. There's some percent where the bike that he set up isn't working for him. Yes, there's some percent of that. But the far greater percent of what is going on is with Jorge Prado. He got decent starts this weekend. He was up there, and all year long. I mean, look, he's been beat by a minute this week in Crash, DNF, second moto. Like, I don't want to hear that factory Kawasaki with Theo and Oscar and Dan Fahey and all these guys with proven track records. I don't want to hear that factory Kawasaki can't get the bike working for him. Like, and that Cody Schock and the club guys, no offense, Daniel, who Cody had a great job, it's just a better bike. What can Jorge Prado do when Cody shocks all over you? Like, because Shock rode great. He caught Jorge in the first moto. He rode great. I don't want to hear it, man. Ask Chad Reed about some of the guys at Factory Calgary. They're smart people. They know what they're doing. It's a factory motorcycle. Stop it. Stop it with this bike stuff. JT's the worst of all of them. The bike is the bike on the level of the Hondas? No, probably not. Is it a minute and a half behind the Hondas? No, it's not. It's Jorge Prado. He's got to figure it out. It's not good. And so I don't want to hear about it, Daniel. So go ahead, Daniel. Take you and the other guy, go take his side and start talking about the bike.
No, I won't do that either. Here's what I will say. It's a combination, obviously, of a whole bunch of things. And,
well, yes, but the greater combination is the rider.
Well, it's always on the rider because he's the one riding the bike, and that is a fact. I'll side with you on that. But
it's the bike. It's the bike. I heard it all. It's the bike.
Bike's part of it, though. And so let me explain. I'm a little bit of a Jorge apologist because, again, maybe it's because I did come in with such low expectations. I didn't think this year was going to go good because, to me, there was red flags all over the place. There was the first big injury he's ever had with the shoulder, which means no time to really prep, not even to learn it in Supercross, which does translate over to outdoor. You do learn things about the motorcycle, so he didn't have any of that. He is first year on this frame and this whole thing. That is real, especially for someone going that way. I think that way is a little bit more difficult, and he's been a steel frame KTM guy since he was on mini bikes. New tracks. If you put all of the variables together, my expectations were very low, and that's why I'm not as freaking out as others and going, oh my God, because I didn't really think it was going to go that well anyways. As far as the combination of where the trouble is, I do think rider and bike go together, and we've had these discussions at club even when we're trying to get riders more comfortable, is sometimes the riders need to take on some more responsibility, and then the bike will follow them. Sometimes the bike has to be a little bit better, then the rider follows that. It's a back and forth, and to me, they're just learning each other, but I will throw this in there. They have been learning each other in Southern California on public tracks that aren't as realistic as what he's seeing right now. And I don't think the testing has been probably as thorough as it needed to be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not even 10% in the direction they need to be because they haven't been in the right environment. That's a little bit of a club shout out because, again, he is coming here.
They came out there. Cowie came out there with Prado.
He rode a couple of days.
That's a couple of days.
It was less than a week. So,
but whatever.
Yeah, and 2 of the days were on full sand, like straight up Lommel sand. So, what I'm saying is this entire year was supposed to be the year 1 of 3 where you learn it all. He didn't get to learn any of the Supercross stuff, and now he's having to learn motocross stuff on the fly, and it definitely is on tape, so it doesn't look good. But I'm not going to put my harsh judgment on him until next year when he has an entire year to acclimate to all of it. And I went in with those expectations. I'm not shocked because I didn't think it was going to go very well in or out. So to me, if you want to ask for judgment on Jorge and the bike and him and the combination of everything, it's probably 1 year from now when we're 3 rounds into next summer, because this year is all just data acquisition for a team who's never dealt with someone like him and a rider who's never dealt with someone like them on tracks he's never been to coming off of an injury. So I'm not freaking out. I feel bad for him that he's getting the harshness on him because on paper and on screen it don't look good, but I didn't think it was for the beginning. I had zero expectations really. So
breaking news.
Ask me in a year.
ClubMX guy thinks they need to go back to ClubMX. Now, Daniel, I think testing in SoCal is fine for Paula and fine for Hangtown the first 2 rounds. No problem. You can learn everything you need to do. Yes, you got to avoid jumping on the kid on a RM80 out there on the track. But yes, I think you can learn everything you need to do. I'm getting the narrative that this Kawasaki's no good. It's just no good. And I'm just like, it's fucking factory motorcycle, man. Calm down. There's smart people working on this thing. Jorge tested it, and I guarantee you they didn't. Back in my day, when I was factory KTM, we went testing. They had 1 shock, and they said, how do you try this shock? And the rider would try it, and they'd be like, well, put the other one back on. And that was our day of testing. That doesn't happen anymore. What do you want, Jorge? Here's 4 linkages. Here's 4 dog bones. Here's 16 sets of suspension. Here's different power curves. You pick it. You tell us. There's so much testing going on with the factory guys. And Jorge, at the end of the day, Jorge said, I imagine, I like this package. Here's what I like. And they went racing, and he's a minute and a half behind and not looking very good either. Dude, he was 42nd in qualifying or 44th in qualifying until the very end. He wasn't going to make the motos. Then he put a heater in and got in. But, I mean, Kellen, has this been a disaster, or is that too strong of a word? Is disaster too strong of a word through 6 motos?
I think that's too strong of a word. I'm with DB.
Okay.
I think that there's too many factors at play here to just say it's one or the other, or
it's not one or the other. I'm not saying that.
But I'm saying the overreaction in general is too much to just pour all the blame on Jorge or all the blame on Cowie. Like, he came back from an injury. They're still trying to figure out that bike. Even Anderson said last year outdoors they had problems, and they're still working through it. Like, there's a lot of different variables at play here, and this is just the end result of that. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I agree, but the greatest variable is Jorge Prado, not the motorcycle.
I mean, sure, like, he does need to get it to a window that he's comfortable at, but he also is coming into trying to figure that out off an injury on tracks that he's never raced before. So
yeah. No, all of that is fine. I don't want to hear that the motorcycle is the problem, which is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the motorcycle is the problem, and that makes me want to punch my computer screen and quit this show.
Here's where I'm going to side with you on is the rider is ultimately responsible for the motorcycle that they ride. That's where I'll agree with you, because when I hear the top guys on the podium, and for me, I've heard this from Chase a lot. I've heard this from Kenny a lot. Those are the two that stand out the most, where they kind of blame the bike and the balance of the bike, and the bike did this. And it's like, yeah, well, you set the bike up and you said what you needed to say so that they would get it where you want it. You gave it the thumbs up. I will always put it on the rider to get the bike right. And if the bike's wrong, it's their responsibility. But I'm not going to overreact now, because I don't think he's had enough time to where he could honestly take all the hit, because they're still trying to figure out. It's a square peg in a round hole right now. They really haven't figured each other out yet. So I'm not going to hammer either side, but I will side with you, Steve, that it does come down to the rider who makes the call and makes the decisions on what to ride when they go racing. So in fact, AP even, I believe, said after this last second moto, I think he blamed the direction that they went. I think he blamed himself. If I recall, he said, yeah, I should have never touched. He said something that made me think he messed up.
Yep.
And I appreciate that, because if they listened to him and he said, let's do this, and then it does it, and then the bike is terrible, that's his fault for doing that. So I'm with you. The rider is ultimately to blame at the end of the day. They get the most responsibility, but that's not to say that the bike's badass and he must suck because that bike's badass. That bike's a work in progress too, for a guy who hasn't had a lot of time to work on it, especially in those conditions. So that's why I'm waiting and seeing. I'm not freaking out. I'm going to wait and see. And if round 11 shows up in Budds Creek and we're having the same conversation, I will definitely be a little bit more like, dang, dude, because I do think it's going to come around through the summer as we go east, as he gets more time. And I think it will look better by the last 3. If it's this bad at Budds Creek, I'll freak out too. But right now, I'm just not freaking out. I'm just going to let him learn. So
I had him at the tail end of the lead pack. You can listen to the Racer X Motocross preview shows. I had him at the tail end after the Lawrence brothers, after Sexton, after Tomac. You know, I kind of had him around there, and he's way off that right now. So he's got some serious building to do. But I just give me a break. Factory Cowie, no good. Stop it.
Yeah, but at the same time, Justin Cooper, Aaron Plessinger, Hunter Lawrence, they're up there with Eli and Jett too. I feel like that little group has popped up a little bit.
For sure.
I think they're a little higher, and he's definitely a lot worse. I think right now he should be battling with Rick in 6th, and with with Cooper Webb early in the moto, and then breaking away from him. He should easily be 6-7 right now, and he does have 1/5, so he's snuck around that range, but he should be doing that every moto, and I think he'll be there by Millville. Okay, by Millville, I think he's in that range, and then maybe by the end, he's pretty close to that top 5, and he can see him. That to me, that would be a win.
Just come back to ClubMX, Jorge. Come back to Club. We'll take care of you. We'll help you.
It's already it's in motion. What are you talking about? I'm not even asking. I'm arranging lodging, bro. It's happening. So.
I know. I'm saying you're saying just get back home to the nest, Jorge.
Just come on home. We'll take care of you.
We'll take care of you.
We'll take care of you. Just watch. Give it a month.
On Monday's Pulp Show, I don't know if you listened, Daniel, but I found that interesting that Marchbanks and Phil both said, you know what? Garrett could go back to Club. And I'm like, what? Really? Because that did not go well at the end. And they both thought that Brandon Haas, the owner there, would take Garrett in. And I mean, obviously pay and, be like a regular customer, like Factory Cowie guys or whatever, but color me shocked a little bit. But they thought that Garrett could go back. So
I'd never say no, but I definitely wouldn't say yes. I mean, I think there'd be some conversations that probably would have to happen
some
first. I think we had to
deep conversations. Yeah.
I think we had to go out to dinner and start over, maybe a couple light dates first. But
I was really surprised to hear Phil and Garrett be like, "Oh yeah, you can go back there. I think it'd be okay." I'm like, really?
No, I mean, maybe I would never say no, but
Right.
but I will say straight up that our vision is locked in. We've had a pretty loose vision over the last 2 months when I got here, just kind of gauging what we're going to do, and our vision is starting to tighten up on where we're going, and it's not that direction. So, so probably maybe a little less than they thought on Monday night.
Well, speaking of tightening up, that Seat Concepts seat cover will be tightened up, looking good on your motorcycle. Pulp25 code to save at seatconcepts.com. They're super big in the dual sport world. They own that area of dual sport stuff with seats. Really comfort. They got the Comfort Series proprietary foam that they make, the Seat Concepts, but they're also in Moto. Phoenix Racing, Beta guys. Benny rode really good this weekend with his Seat Concepts Beta. He was much better than Hangtown. Seat Concepts, ride the world with them. Pulp25 is a code to save. And ZulzBagCode.com. Pulp25, again, code with Zulz, Z-U-L-Z, bagcode.com. Canard, Pastrana, Triumph guys, Phoenix Racing using Zulz bags. Whether you're taking the kids to a sporting event, whether you're into moto, they have a giant gear bag. So if you're looking for the biggest gear bag known to man, it'll fit Daniel, no problem, inside of it. I think it's called the Godzilla, I think, something. I don't know. Zulz Bag Co. It's huge. And backpacks, travel, roller bags, all of that. ZulzBagCode.com. Thank you to those guys. And again, thank you to Firepower, Maxxis, Decal Works, ASV Levers, Alpine Stars, Stomp Grip, and of course, TLD Race Tech. You want to save with TLD? Email us using the contact form on Pulp. We'll give you a code to save with those guys. I want to shout out to the TLD guys. I mentioned this last week, but it is in motion. The Fly guys, who I also deal with, sent me a brand new white Formula helmet, and it is on its way to Troy Lee Designs. Troy himself is going to design it. They're going to paint it for me. I am going to have my 15-year-old Steve Matthes dream of having a custom painted Troy Lee Designs helmet. It'll be a while. They're pretty backed up, but they're doing it for me, and it's super cool. Making the custom painted helmets, man. That's maybe the number one crappy thing about our sport these days is these energy drink helmets and also just the factory sort of graphics and all that they want to sell. Custom painted helmets back in Daniel's day were awesome, and Troy Lee is going to do that for me. So shout out to them. Racetech as well, racetech.com. Please check them out. They're official sponsor of Start Your System. So if you're super into that video game weirdo stuff, like Kellen, then Racetech's involved in that. And Kellen, we will plug your show here. You have a new show with Casey Cochran. Well, your first guest was Casey Cochran, but if you are watching this and you're into video games, Gamer Corner, Kellen, you have a new show.
Yes, I do. It's called Gaming with the Pros. Casey was the first guest, and we have a lineup coming behind him that will be following soon. But yeah, it's a really fun show. Get them to come in studio. We play little games. We banter about life and career and games they played growing up, but also how that intertwined with their career growing up and different things like that. So kind of just trying to be a little bit more off the wall and do something fun. And it was a pretty good first episode. So check it out over on our YouTube, Start Your Systems.
Did you think calling it Gamer Corner?
No, I did not think of calling it Gamer Corner.
A 100% chance that Max Volan will be a future guest?
At some point, but he doesn't live over here anymore. So it's not like I can just get him on a plane out here.
He'll be in Cali at some point. At some point.
When he came out for Paula, that was his first time back in Cali since he sold everything here. So
okay, all right. Also,
I'd like to go on your show, Kellen. We'll talk Mario Kart if you're down.
There we go. I love it.
That's the last time I played a video game, and I was really good at it. So we talked Mario Kart.
You didn't play ATV Fury?
No, I did do all those. I wasn't obsessed, but
yes.
Mario Kart, like, dude, I maybe one of the best in the world of all time at that game. So, but the other ones, I was never that good at them.
ATV Fury, I got
the original
800 million hours into ATV Fury, or the second one, whatever. I don't know. They're both good,
dude.
Phenomenal
so
game.
Good.
Phenomenal. We used to bring
just come out and seat bounce like 7 jumps in a straightaway. Just roll.
Brock Sellards brought a PS. God damn, was it PS2? I don't even know. Sellards brought a PS2 on the road that year, KTM days. That was 01. So he would bring it, and we would just have matches in hotel rooms at the Nationals and Supercrosses in Sellards hotel room every time, and it got heated. And what a game! What a game!
That's great.
Okay, all right. Mikkel Haarup, you wanted to touch on him, DB?
Yeah, curiosity. I think he's good. He's warming up. You know, you were high on him coming in, and it took him a couple weeks, but now it's starting to look like maybe those predictions are possible. I think. I mean, he's getting closer to the top 5.
Keller was right with me. I bet you. He knows. Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, he's legit, and it's looking better and better. And he's another one that I think once we go east, he's going to get a little bit more comfortable. And I do think that he's going to be pretty shiny here over the next month or two. And my thought is, like, what does that mean, really? Like, I don't know his story enough to know. I know he aged out over there. Does he go back there and does he become a 450 MXGP guy? Does he want to stay here? Is there a Supercross background? Because I think by the time this outdoor series is done, I think we're going to be like, yeah, he's really good. So what happens?
Well, his third day on Supercross is when he broke his wrist. So Supercross skills might not be on par.
Oh boy.
He says he's going back for an MXGP ride with Triumph next year. We had him on the show. We asked him about it. Kellen, no, it was Lewis was in studio, but he was kind of committal. But I mean, I think if Triumph USA said, nope, you're staying here, he seems to like it. So maybe he does. But as of now, his contract says he goes back MXGP 450 Triumph next year. So this is a one and done thing. Good guy though, really good guy, Daniel. If you get a chance to talk to him, super cool.
I'd like to. I've heard he's funny. I heard he's great to talk to. This was the first time I got to really see that glimpse of, oh, dang, okay, he's good. Because I did research before the season and found out that he is pretty good. But I didn't think those first 2 were going to be super great for him. But I could see him coming around over the next few rounds and being a guy we see on screen a lot more. And I just feel like you start doing better and all of a sudden you start getting acclimated and you start having fun, liking it. Then all of a sudden there's that, well, what if? So I'm just curious what they're going to do because it's an intriguing piece for the Triumph brand globally. Like, what do you do with a guy like that? Do you send him back over or do you give him a shot here? And I don't know.
Kellen, I think you put him in 450, right? In MXGP. I think that's what you do if you're Triumph. Because he's good. I mean, you want to debut that bike. You know, you want to have a strong rider. Yeah.
If he had gotten into racing 250E Supercross this year and had like any semblance of this might go okay, you would maybe think, nah, let's try it. But the fact that he crashed 3 days into testing, it's like, no, man, you're probably a moto guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and maybe like you said, not getting a gate drop and getting a little taste. Like, say he sneaks in and gets a 9th or a 10th, and it's like, But since nothing really got started, then maybe you just don't go that path. But it'll be interesting to see what he does as he gets closer to the top 5. And
I had someone that would know tell me, wait till you see the Triumphs at Lakewood, how slow they're going to be, because they are a little down on horsepower compared to the Star bikes and even Mitch's bikes, right? Mitch's bikes look great right now. They got a couple of monsters in Adams and Marchbanks ripping on those things. And I had someone tell me that. And then kind of publicly and privately, I pulled a couple Triumph guys aside and was like, hey man, was the bike okay here? Like, how was it? And honestly, they're like, it's good. It's fine. You know what I mean? So the guy that would know that told me that was maybe off a little bit about that because those guys were not. And we saw Haarup. He ran fine. Jordan Smith ran okay. He crashed up. So I don't think the Triumphs. I was kind of looking at that, and I don't think that came true. Triumphs were fine. Like, were they the fastest bikes out there? No, but they were fine. You know. So
it's funny because the Honda is considered to be not super duper fast either, and Hymas absolutely yanked all of them on the starts.
Well,
but Joe didn't. So I don't know.
There's something. Obviously, the Lawrence brothers got the starts down pat. Honda's got something going on. And then, I've been hearing that Hymas has been ripping on starts at the Lawrence compound. They've got a great setting. They're working with the guys at Get and obviously all their team itself. And the person that I know that tells me this has an inside track over there. And they're like, Hymas is ripping starts, and he's going to continue to rip starts all summer long. And if you think about it, he's got 3 out of 6 motos, right? 3 whole shots out of 6. So it's working so far for that.
Yeah, that's true.
ClubMX recap for Lakewood. Cody Schock, whole shot and lead. And then he hit a structure, but it doesn't matter. He still rode really well. The Russian kid was just okay. And then Max Voland, I thought was all right too. Like, not a great day for Club MX, but I think the Cody Shock stuff really went well for you guys.
That kind of, I think, saved the day as far as just the overall feeling. When you do that for Club, it's huge. I think back to High Point last year. Obviously, I wasn't there, but having those three guys up front, 1, 2, 3, like those moments matter for Club to get up there and get on the screen, because in Supercross we're on screen a lot. I mean, the guys do really well, and then on Motocross it is tougher. And so Cody saved the day for the team as far as just getting up there and getting some presence for everybody. But both Max and Alex are better in second motos, we've learned. Max seems to be feeling things out. Moto 1 doesn't seem to do as well. And then Moto 2, he really goes forward. Alex this week too, he had a good start. Moto 1 went backwards. Moto 2, he crashed on the first lap, was in 39th, came back to, I think, 22nd. And both of them are getting better in the second motos because of comfort. Max just getting back to outdoor, getting comfortable in that bike. And then Alex, again, being a rookie. But Cody, man, the one thing about Cody is he does not care who's on the gate. That dude will pull a start. And I mentioned it last week, there's 10 champions on that gate. And then there's Cody Shock, and he goes and hole shots them. And this time it was cooler because Webb tried to get him. He shut the door, and then he held it for a while. He just sat up there for a bit and ultimately crashed and lost some valuable points. But it was good to get off the West Coast. Even Brandon said today in our team meeting, hey, we got through the first 3. Everyone's healthy. We're all feeling good about things. Now let's get more comfortable now that we're on the home coast. So I think for Club, you're going to see probably the best of all 3 riders individually over the next month. But overall, I would say we've survived the West Coast swing when our whole team was pretty heavy on Supercross all the way until Salt Lake City that week. So I'll consider it a positive first 3 rounds, mostly because we're through it with no problems. And now let's step it up, everybody. So that's the goal. Super
cool to see Club and Cody up front. I always got a soft spot for that. And Cody's a good dude, so it was cool to see. I had him in my fantasy team too, so shout out for him. He was 26th, 28th, I don't know, way back, and then never gave up, even though he hole shot and led and but got past, crashed. Would have been easy for him to kind of just mail it in the rest of the moto, and I watched him with 3 laps to go. The dude was charging again, you know what I mean? And so he's got a lot of heart, and it's good to see some other fantasy players could use a little of Cody Shock's heart. I won't get into it, but
and speaking of heart, all you amateur kids out there and amateur families that have no results, go to the Loretta Lynn's Vault on Racer X, look up Cody Shock, and you will see a kid who never got better than 15th overall ever at Loretta Lynn's. In fact, his last year he got 15th in College Boy and 30th in Open Pro, and then went into the pros. That's what he left behind in amateurs, and now he's doing what he's doing, and that's mental. I mean, and mental strength. So for all you kids out there, he's an inspiration in my opinion. That's why I like him. I liked him before I even got here. And then when I got here, I mean, I've really learned to like him now, just getting to know him. So I think he's inspirational for the ones that weren't the superstars in the amateurs, because he was not at all.
Alpine Stars Protects, thanks you to those guys. The Tech Air should be out this fall. Super cool invention from Gabrielle and everybody there at Alpine Stars. The Tech Air is awesome. It's amazing. It's coming out soon. A1 chest protector, A1 plasma as well. Under guards, under protectors, elbow guards, knee cups, all of that. Neck braces, of course. You think of Alpine Stars, you think of their boots, obviously, but they got a lot of protection gear going on at Alpine Stars, and that's what we want to emphasize on this podcast. Protection gear from the folks at Alpine Stars. And again, Daniel, we got ASV and Decal Works on board as well.
Absolutely. From beginners to seasoned vets, race teams, project builds, and magazine tests, Decal Works' mission is to cater to those who love to ride, upholding the true definition of quality, service, and knowledge. Visit decalmex.com and use the promo code PulpaMex25 to get 20% off your custom graphics. And ASV is pumped to announce that they have joined forces with Jeff Emig and ODI Grips to offer the Emig Pro Pack Plus. Speaking of Loretta Lynn's, Steve, there's
why do you got to bring that up?
Right,
why do you got to bring that up? It's too soon, man. It's too soon.
I just want to let you know who's going to be there.
I'm not going to be there.
You know who will be there though? Is Jeff Chicken.
Oh, you asshole.
Sorry. The package features an Emig branded ASV F4 lever kit with matching ODI Emig V2 Pro lock-on grips and exclusive colorways, starting with black, gold, and white kits available now. ASV products are tested and used by top AMA Pro racers. Check out the new Emig Pro Pack Plus at asvinventions.com. Use the code PulpaMex in all caps for 20% off. as he makes his way to the ranch.
You're
Steve.
a jerk. I hate the main event music too, by the way. I was kidding off the top.
You're being mean to Lewis, dude. Lewis is in the freaking hospital, and Darkside just got fired. You're out there tweeting.
I'm just telling Dark to stay ready. Stay ready, bud. You never know. Okay.
It's terrible.
TLD Race Tech again, Troy Lee Designs. Use the contact form on Pulp. We'll send you a code to save with those guys. Before we do the fantasy picks, one last thing here. I did want to get Kellen's thoughts on this too. And I'm open to you guys saying that I'm wrong. If I am, I'd love to get your opinions on this. We talked about it in the review pod with the other two Jasons. Obviously, the press conference, Aaron was asked about Eli joining KTM next year, which we all believe is going to happen. And the three of us, the Jasons and I, said, come on, man, don't ask that. Like, first of all, if you're going to ask anybody, ask Eli. Ask Eli. He's right there. That's the guy to talk to. The media guy that did this, I believe, is going, because he knows AP is going to answer and turn it into what AP did, which is awesome because he's AP. By the way, AP told me he got in a little bit of trouble for the sleeveless jersey at that hangdown, by the way. But what do you guys feel about this? Like, to me, I don't want to put the athlete in that position. It is a press conference. You can ask anything, but I don't want to put them in the spot where they can get in trouble. But why is our sport weird about this in the first place? We can cover that part because MotoGP guys, NASCAR guys, F1 guys already talk about, and Kelly knows this too from following those sports. They already know about what they're doing halfway through the year and they talk about it. So why, A, are we weird? Why are we weird? B, is it just fair game to ask the riders anything at all in press conferences? And we're the two Jasons and I, were we off the mark? Kellen, you go first.
So my take on this is, as you said, this is so much more normal in other sports that we open the books a little bit about this stuff and the riders and the athletes are more open. So I personally, while I thought, oh, that's probably a pretty tough question to throw at AP, reflecting on it now, I'm like, no, man, like we got to start pushing these teams and the riders a little bit in that direction so they stop holding the chains so tightly with some of this stuff, because it's ridiculous that we all know Eli's tested the KTM and we all know that there's probably a contract being floated across the table.
Oh, it's done. No, he's going there. Yeah,
that's what
done.
I mean.
Yeah.
We all know this, but if you ask them or anything like that, it's just massive hostility. Like, to me, that's not fair. Like from a journalistic standpoint, that we're on top of something like that and we get met with criticism for doing that in the first place. And then I think that the athletes themselves should be more open about that. And like the AP thing, the way that he answered it, it actually took me back to an F1 thing when Jenson Button was driving for McLaren and Fernando Alonso's contract with Ferrari was coming to a close. And someone asked Jenson, if you had a choice for your teammate, would you choose Fernando? And then they like laughed about it in the press conference and stuff like that. And I think that generates more fanfare with it as well from a sports standpoint. So I'm kind of okay with the question. I think he could have worded it better, but I'm okay with pushing the boundaries a little bit in that way.
But why would you ask AP about Eli when Eli's right next to him? I think you did it as a media guy. And again, I could be wrong. I think you did it because you want to get clicks and YouTube money and all that. Because you know what Eli's going to do. If you ask Eli that question, he's going to go, I don't want to talk about it. Or I can't talk about it, and we move on.
That's exactly why he asked AP.
That's why he asked AP. That's okay. I'm glad you said that, Kellen, because you keep going if you want, Kellen, but I definitely.
But you're going to get AP a reprimand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, but that's why I'm saying it's stupid. If AP wants to answer that question, he should be allowed to answer that question how and the way that he does it.
And to add on to that, he answered it absolutely legendary.
He did.
That was an incredible answer. I can't even believe he pulled that off, for being honest. I know AP very well, and I my jaw dropped because he nailed the answer as good as it could have been done.
Wow, he just went at full AP, which was awesome. Yeah.
Dude, he literally, but he didn't. He said, Well, if
No, but I mean, like all this stuff about, dude, I've been teammates with Caroli. I've been teammates
that was
with, right.
unbelievably good.
Right,
It
right.
was so, I can't even believe he nailed that coming from, because he used to not be the best interview, and he has gotten so damn good lately.
So
Kellen,
I'm off the mark.
baton-
According to you two, I'm
big
off the
time.
mark. Okay.
Big time. Kellen, you want to hand the baton over, or do you got more? Because
No, go for it. It's all you, buddy.
Okay. The question was asked to the right guy. Eli would have never said a single word. In fact, his face even, oh my God, he went statue. It was incredible. Just go back and watch his face. But he asked the guy who he thought would probably maybe take some bait. And to me, that was good because we got an awesome answer out of it. And we got a little bit of confirmation. And AP, to be honest, it makes AP look like a stud. And if I'm AP and KTM's mad at me, I'm going back to them and saying, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to say to that question better than what I said? He shouldn't be reprimanded in any way for what he said. It was an awesome answer. And the guy who asked the question chose the right guy. Now, to the other point, yes, this sport is so rigid and so secretive and so sneaky about those things. And it's almost like everyone gets all weird. Oh my God, who's going where? Who's going where? That is one of the coolest parts of the sport. And this sport needs to be more open about that stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I have to be the one that helps start that trend, I'll tell you right now what Club's doing. You want to know what we're doing? You want some transparency? We're about to start a process where we're going to start bringing riders in that are on our list. Not going to give the names just yet.
Oh,
they're going to come
on.
in and test the bike.
When does the 51 get there?
51's not coming here.
51 is stopping.
51's not coming here. He's not. I can tell you transparently, there was an offer made. There was a deadline in time. He didn't answer by the deadline. The offer was pulled. Simple as that. There's some transparency for you. We've moved on to a different vision, and now we are going to set up test rides to bring in riders that we feel could fit our program, and they're going to try the bike, and we're going to get to know them, take them out to dinner, go through the process, do a little wine and dine like they do in college football in the recruiting or in the pros. That's how it should be done. And guess what?
Yeah.
He's not on the list.
Yeah.
Ride the bike or go to dinner. He's
right.
not.
Don't bring Phil anywhere around these guys.
And guess what? More than likely, I'll probably say who it is when we put ink to paper, because I do think it's ridiculous, and I can't stand the fact that the sport's secretive and everyone knows, and we have to act like we don't know.
Well, okay, hold on.
And when that day comes, you'll find out.
That's great, Daniel. Thank you for that. I hope you actually do that. I mean, look, to me, you guys, I talk about it all the time. Social media, Twitter, I don't care. I've gotten plenty of trouble. If I know something, I talk about it. It doesn't matter. And Kel, you guys are probably right, but that doesn't change that the sport is not flexible, and that AP probably will get a talking to, and maybe the media guy should have known that, and now AP is going to be like, dude, why'd you do that to me? I got yelled at, or I got blah, blah, blah. Maybe not. Maybe I'm off base, but now that guy has put AP in a tough spot being AP. You guys are right. It should change, but it's not, and it hasn't changed. And now AP is going to probably get in trouble for that. And so there's,
he should tell them. I'm not going to say
okay.
He should tell them. He shouldn't be in trouble. He shouldn't be in trouble.
Right.
And he shouldn't feel weird about the guy asking the question. I hope the guy that asked the question does it again next time and does it.
Okay.
I hope he does it again. The way to change something is to force it to change. And to me, I have no problem with it. And again, I got the memo, and I'm going to do my very best to be as transparent as I can without conflicting sponsors and certain things that you don't want to do. But I ain't playing secrets when it's stupid. I always thought that because I was on the other side. I was media and I was on the TV side. Couldn't stand knowing all this stuff and not being able to talk about it. It was so stupid. And now on this side, I'm not going to be that.
I talk about anything, right, on my shows. You guys both know that. You've both been there. I don't care. I'll talk about it all. I'm financially not going to get a penalty. No one's going to pull any. No one's going. But the fact that like on the official
Steve,
broadcast,
and to back you up on that, too. I always personally wait till you say, because once you say, then I green light and go at it and start talking about it too. You've always been, for me, the green light.
Right.
Because I know things sometimes and I'm like, man, I don't know. And then all of a sudden I look at your Twitter and I'm like, oh, Steve said it, boom. And then I hit it wide open because I trust you. You're a valuable source and you are usually the first one. And I'm guessing you probably do ruffle some feathers, but guess what? Too bad, because you're you and you have the power to go and do it anyway. And everyone puts up with it.
But
to me, that's how you do it. Just do it.
The fact that so the Jasons do that SMX show. It's official Feld show, right? They won't. What?
It's a little different for them.
Yeah, but I'm saying so all the things that I talk about on my show, even let's say with the Jasons, they'll never mention it on that SMX show, which that part is lame. Yes, I agree. Those guys should be the same as us, same as me, or any other media source, and just use the rumors. People love it. I know I've been in this media game so long. People love silly season rumors. They love that shit. Who's going where? They love it. It does nothing but build intrigue and interest in our sport. But I just don't think getting a rider in trouble or asking the wrong rider when the guy you're asking about is 2 feet away is proper. But you know what? Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Yep, and you guys are right, and I'm fully prepared that that
I liked it.
Yeah, you guys like it. I don't, and I'm willing to accept that there's that I could be wrong here. So I know which way the YouTubers will go.
One final thing. The Jasons on that show, because it is a show produced by the series and by the promoter, that's different. But on Racer X, Weed should be able to say whatever he wants. And on JT's Patreon show, he should be able to say whatever he wants. And I don't know what they say on those, but they should be able to speak freely and talk about the rumors.
Yeah.
Because it's not on behalf of the promoter.
But I'm saying even the promoter show should be able to dive into anything they want, but they won't. Yeah. So
they won't.
Yeah. And I mean, if you want to really talk about the PR side of things, yeah, Cowie once again really delivered with the Prado information. So it's
that I agree with you on. The PR in the sport needs to go up.
Oh, it's so bad. Time. It's so bad. But and that's part of the problem. That goes hand in hand with the silly season stuff. 100%. They are holding hands. The PR side and the silly season stuff. They're holding hands, skipping in a valley together. They're skipping into an eternal pool of shit. So okay, all right.
I love it.
All right, let's do the fantasy stuff. Wrap this thing up. High Point this weekend. Looks like it's gonna be a bit of a mutter also. 25 years since Kelly Smith and Steve Matthes shocked the world in the mud at High Point, getting KTM their first ever win, which carries on today with Chase Sexton and AP. And we started it, myself and Kelly Smith. Phenomenal. All right. Okay. Fantasy picks, controversy. Kellen, would you like to explain?
I'm a fraud.
Thank you. Finally admitted.
Giving me Freddie.
You gave me Lorenzo Locurcio, and I said on the show, how do we know even know he's going? It's Wildcat Racing. It's a loose program. We don't know. And
he no-shows.
Neither of us three bother to check in until someone tweets us that Lorenzo isn't there. So the fraud gave me Lorenzo. Obviously he wasn't there, so no result gotten for that. And then we decided to drop Daniel's worst one too, because that would be, to be fair. And so Daniel dropped Parker Ross. He was plus 23 off. Just missed the mark on Parker Ross. But all right. So for Thunder Valley, Hunter Lawrence was my guy. I said 30, got 5th, 2 off on that one. Garrett Marchbanks, I said 7th. Marchbanks crushed it. He went 3-8 for 4th overall. I was 3 off that one. And then Dylan Schwartz. I slept on Dylan Schwartz. I thought bad starts and then charge hard because that's Dylan Schwartz's MO. So I said 17th, but he got 8th. He crushed it. That might be his best ever national. It's got to be one of his best ever nationals. I was 9 off for Dylan Schwartz. So that was a 12. That's 14 for me. Daniel, Justin Cooper was your pick. You said 4th. He got 4th. Good job, bro.
Thanks.
Freddie Norn, you said 17th, and old Freddie got 36th. So you were 19 off on that one. And you correctly got Levi Kitchen. So, man, Freddie Norn really did you in.
He'll be getting talking to the next time I see him on site. He wasn't here this week. I patiently waited for him to show up. I know where he parks every single time he's here, and he did not show this week, probably knowing that we were going to have to talk. So, because if he would have just done Freddie, like normal Freddie, it'd be looking a lot different right now. But,
and
so dirty, and he'll be getting a talk.
With dropping those last results, who won the day? I was at 14. Oh, I won. I won again. I put 5 on you.
Oh yeah.
So I'm 14 up after 3 rounds, continuing my Supercross magic. All right, we're going on to High Point. Could be a mutter. This could get wild. The fraud's hopefully not going to set me up too bad. Maybe he's going to make it up to me over the Lorenzo thing. All right, Callan, what do we got?
First off, I'm going to blow your guys' wigs back because that was not Dylan Schwartz's best career result.
Oh, wow.
He actually got 5th at Spring Creek last year on a Suzuki.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow. On a Suzuki, too. Dylan Schwartz. He is underrated.
Yeah.
He's
super underrated.
He's a nice kid, but to talk to, he is about as exciting as cardboard. So I don't think a lot of media goes to find him. Super nice kid. Just, he's quiet. He's mellow. So there's not a lot there to talk to. So probably the media doesn't go out of their way to find Dylan Schwartz. Maybe he's a gamer, Kellen.
Well, you grew up like 10 minutes from me, so. Okay. Let's go into the picks, though, shall we? I'll lead off with Steve again this week, as we have been doing. We've been talking about Cowies all week, but I'm not going to give you Prado. I want to hear what you think Jason Anderson is going to finish at High Point.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, okay, he hurt his knee, so maybe he doesn't race.
Oh,
this guy.
I'm just saying. I'm
okay,
just saying.
so then we'll pull it. I'm there this weekend, so I'll actually be able to see if Jason Anderson is at the track on Friday.
Jason Anderson will struggle again, ruts, mud, maybe a knee problem, maybe a lack of caring anymore as he's leaving the team. So I will go Jason Anderson 10th place.
10th. All right, not too bad. And then because the rains may fall, and we might have a heroic result from this man, I want to know what you think of the Pope, Romain Pep, this weekend.
The Pep was good in one moto at Lakewood. I'm going to go the Pep will go 14th. Extra pep. 14th. Yep. Extra
pep in his step.
Yep.
And sticking with the fact that I don't give DB his own riders, I'm going to have you pick Max Voland instead.
First?
Oh?
No, Voland.
That bike did actually lead the national here last year. So.
It did, absolutely. And Chris Kiefer tested it also. So look for some information on the ClubMX network for myself and
Max
Kiefer.
Won his heat race at Foxborough this year too, Steve.
Mm-hmm. I am going to ping pong this back to the fraud. And you are the Max Voland expert. You don't need to give me my answer.
Are you using a lifeline?
Yes, I'm calling a friend. Kellen, I'm thinking.
Kellen,
I'm thinking 9th. Am I low or high?
I do like that in your lifeline selection here, like you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that you've chosen someone you actively call the fraud to help you make a selection.
No, but you can't. No, but when it comes to Max Voland, you will not.
You can't fraud.
Yeah, you can't fraud that one. Yeah.
I think he's going to be 7th this weekend, but 9th is not a terrible pick.
Okay, I'm picking 9th then. I'm staying 9th. I don't. Kellen's too optimistic.
Little insight for you, Steve, is that Chad Reed actually spent some time with Max this week doing a little testing, and they made some gains that actually I believe have trickled to the rest of the team. So thank you, Chad. And it started with Max, and Max was happy. So I just want you to know he's very happy as of today.
Did Chad say put a rear brake pedal on?
No, he did not. He was fine with that.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and to your last pick, Steve. How about Ryder D. Francesco?
Underwhelming for Ryder D, right? I like Ryder D. Good guy. Probably a possible future gamer corner guy for Kellen. It's been underwhelming. He's a good starter, and where's the starts gone? Yeah, 13th. Yeah, sorry, Ryder D. 13th.
13th for Ryder D. All right, over to DB. Let's lead off with Joey Savacci.
Yeah, all right.
Wow, tough one. Woo.
Like that. Let's go 8.
8th for Joey. And then your second 450 pick, Mitchell Harrison.
Oh, this could be anywhere. This could be 10th or 40th.
Yeah. This is. I thought you were getting.
No. Harrison is wild. Like Pulp Mix Fantasy, it's a ride. Yep.
I'm gonna for just knowing that I'm gonna miss. I just don't want to miss bad. I'm gonna go 20.
20th. All right.
Just so I know I'm gonna miss. Just
limit the damage.
Shotgun approach on this one.
Let's limit the damage. Yeah.
Okay. Down to the 250 class. How about the guy that won here last year, Ty Masterpool?
Oh, is it a one moto format or 2 this weekend? Because if it's one, dude, we're going top five. He was good here, and I think hopefully he doesn't throw up this weekend. Let's go. Let's go 7.
7th for Ty. And last but not least, we're making progress. Mikkel Haarup.
Yeah, I like this one for him. I feel like a little sloppy, ruddy East Coast momentum. Let's go.
And like seriously, every European in history has always done well at High Point. So
damn it, because I would like to put him 7th, but I can't put 2 guys at 7. Let's go 6.
just go 20th.
Let's go better.
Just go 20th.
No, that's way too shotgun. I'll go 6. I think he has he improves and he goes to 6th. 2 good motos this week. 6 for.
Love it.
And Keller is back at the races for Swap Moto this weekend.
Yep.
You
Catch
guys
me
ask
sloshing
something weird.
around on the hills.
Ask something weird in the presser.
Yeah, go ahead, big guy. Yeah.
Get in there.
Actually, my job with Swap is to do post-race interviews, so I can't really do the presser at the same time, but I'll try.
Okay.
What would be a weird one, Steve? What would be a weird question for Kellen in the presser? Who?
I mean,
ask Jett.
There's weird, and then there's like the silly season stuff like we talked about.
Ask Jett what he thinks Lucas's second story is going to be.
There we go. Yeah.
Can I ask Jett when his new deal is going to be announced finally?
Ask him that.
Yeah. No, that's probably legit. We do know that he's got a new deal in the drawer or it's done or whatever. So I kind of know some things that are holding up on it, but I can't talk about it because my whole thing about that is if I hear it from someone that's directly involved and then they say, don't say anything, I can't betray that person. And I didn't do any journalistic integrity to find it. I wasn't Sherlock Holmes. They just literally told me and said, here. So I can't say anything, but it had to go back and be some things changed on it. So
ask it then. Ask him point blank.
It's going to be.
He's actually he's gotten good at dodging. He's actually gotten pretty good at interviews too. He gets out of things pretty well.
Do you guys think we haven't seen a second Myrtle story because he came to his goddamn senses? No. Okay.
I don't. No, I'm not shaking my head. No, I'm more like I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
I was kind of like waiting for a second, and then I forgot, honestly, until I just said that. That just blurted out. I really forgot.
I think I hope he's been like, yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea. Let me not do that again. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Ask him, Kellen.
You got it, boss.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Kellen, you're leaving tomorrow, so have a good trip out there. Have fun at the High Point race. I will not be attending it this weekend. So
I know I have nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
That's right. Yeah, with Big Lou gone. Will you guys have sort of a moment of silence or anything?
I don't know. But as of right now, I am giving his best friend a ride from the airport because he no longer has his best friend to ride him around.
Chase?
No.
Oh.
Wait, Chase is racing?
Hurlings?
No, come on, you know.
ML?
No, it's Sean.
Sean. Oh, Sean. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
okay.
One other thing on that, Steve. Did you notice how Chase put on Twitter? He replied to Big Lou, when he was coming back. Right? Did he say he was coming back?
Yeah. He said Ian Harrison was wrong. That's not correct.
So my question though is this: if you're banged up, how do you know the exact timeline of return?
Dude.
Isn't banged up like day by day, week by week? Like there shouldn't be an absolute date return.
No, it's Redbud. No, listen, I heard Redbud Saturday afternoon at Paula. Kellen probably did too. Like literally. I heard Saturday at Paula, someone's like, he's coming back for Redbud. I'm like, wow, we diagnosed this?
Yeah, how do you diagnose banged up and give it a timeline? How do you have a timeline for banged up?
We had a timeline Saturday afternoon at Paula. It was phenomenal. Yep.
That's some transparency then. That's all we're asking for. We're asking for a little truth, man. We just want the truth.
That's all we want. And also let's hope that Jorge avoids the kickers out there. Let's avoid that. All right. TLD, Race Tech, Zool, Seat Concepts, Firepower Maxes, Decal Works, ASV Levers, Stomp Grip, and Alpine Stars. Thanks, guys. Use the codes to save. Appreciate that. And absolutely, Daniel, thank you as always. Look forward to this transparency from you in the coming weeks.
Got it.
And check out the main event for new music soon when him and Vincent stop fighting.
My brother finishes his part now because he's mad. So.
Right. And
I'm done, though. I did my part. I'm done.
Yep. And as always, thanks to the fraud, Kellen Brower. All right, everybody. See you next week.